everyone. Welcome to the Game Buzz. I'm Matt, and I'm joined here today by Jonathan Lester.
Hi there.
And it's just the two of us today. But there's been some big news this week. I think we'll start. It's probably best we start because we're recording this on Friday. Nintendo Direct has just happened. The most pointless Nintendo Direct presentation yet.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, if Nintendo Direct was a weekly thing, this would have been fine because all they basically did was announced a handful of release dates. They could have handled it in a sort of bullet point press release and just said, so yeah, Pikmin 3's come in and the Wonderful 101 is coming, but we won't tell you anything else about it. And
That was annoying. That was really annoying because it's a game that's quite. You kind of need to see it. You need to see it in action. So like we had a trailer for Game & Wario and fucking a really long one for Resident Evil Revelations. But it was just, oh yeah, Wonderful 101. Here's a date. Bye.
yeah, well, it's clear that with Revelations, I mean, Nintendo are just glad that like a publisher is actually supporting them. So, they're probably dead chuffed about that. But yeah, it's bizarre that a port of a 3DS game, let's not forget, Revelations is a very good 3DS game because it was specifically designed for the 3DS.
Yeah.
But it's a 3DS game. It's a port of a 3DS game. And yet that gets a big fat trailer. The Wonderful 101, which is a Wii U exclusive title from an established veteran studio with massive pedigree, and that I've played it and it seems to play damn well. It's got a really exciting sort of art style that, as we've said before, pretty much out Nintendo's Nintendo in many respects.
Yep.
We don't even get a screenshot.
No.
What are they scared of it? Are they actually scared that people will just say, "Oh, sod it, I'm not going to buy Super Luigi U, whatever the hell that is, and buy the Wonderful 101 instead"? I mean, what's the problem? What are you afraid of, Nintendo?
Worse yet. Although the European release is it's the Gamescom weekend. Well, I don't know why. The US release, they've somehow decided to fit it into GTA 5's firing line.
Outstanding.
Now, admittedly, perhaps different target audience, but I don't really subscribe to that because the Wonderful 101 is a game for everyone who loves games. And yeah, you don't drop one of your unique games.
One of your few exclusives.
Your few exclusives in a week where Rockstar are just coming out with their massive dong and swinging everywhere.
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre, but as it stands, this is going to be our little secret, listeners. We can all enjoy. Don't tell anyone else about the 101, the Wonderful 101. It'll be our little thing. It'll be great.
There was one thing to come out of that Nintendo Direct, and the more I think about it, the more big it actually, the more important I think it actually is, because Iwata announced a partnership with SEGA that will essentially see Sonic exclusive to the Wii U. We don't know how long term that is. It's definitely for the next game, Sonic Lost World. Yeah, exclusive to Nintendo, exclusive to the Wii U and the 3DS. And I realised this as I was writing it up. As someone who's, and both of us, and I'm sure many of our listeners, all grew up during that Mega Drive versus SNES, Sega versus Nintendo. This is the final blow of that great battle. Nintendo just, we're going to have some exclusive Sonic now.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's a bit like
it's really weird.
It's bizarre. Nintendo and Sega like collaborating on. I really hope it's not one last hurrah, really. We got two old rivals working together, and this could be a good thing because a lot of the best sort of recent Sonic games have been exclusive to Nintendo platforms. I'm thinking sort of Sonic Colors. That was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that. And admittedly, there was also Sonic the Dark Brotherhood. That was developed by BioWare. Don't get me wrong, I can't imagine that happening again, but that was damn good, and that was a DS exclusive. So, and of course we got the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games and that entire franchise as well, and they're always good fun. So this seems like a potentially quite a good move. And again, it's nice to see Nintendo getting just a little bit of third-party support. God knows they need it.
Oh yeah.
especially this week.
Oh yes. That's nice little segue into EA.
Yes, EA, the fair weather friend, because we all remember back in the day, back at those heady E3 2011 days when EA got up on stage and said, "We love the Wii U. It's great. We're working with Nintendo. We're so excited about their online capabilities and excited about their new console and their hardcore appeal. We're going to be with you every step of the way, Nintendo." And now, etu EA. Etu EA, because they're twisting the knife now, and they have confirmed that they have no Wii U games at all in development. None, not a single one. They've previously said that Frostbite 3 just won't work on the Wii U and they can't be bothered to make it work. And here's the thing, I don't want to descend into EA bashing here because you can sort of understand their logic here. They're at a really dangerous transition at the moment. They've got they're changing their leadership. They've got to sort of almost rebuild trust with their consumers as well. And they've got to make themselves a lot more profitable. And of all of the things they could focus on, the floundering Wii U is probably not that high on their priority list. I can understand that. And they're not the only publisher doing it. I mean, just look at Ubisoft.
Agreed. It's a difficult sort of chicken and egg scenario, isn't it? Because obviously, no publisher is going to support the Wii U unless it sells more, but it can't really sell more unless the games come. And once again, it's gonna come down to Nintendo and their first party games. They used to have back in the day they used to have an amazing sort of second party sort of affiliate group of developers, sort of loosely tethered to them, but they sort of hemorrhaged that after the N64.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's easy to forget that we know that there's a freaking Fire Emblem versus Shin Megami Tensei crossover coming. There is what is probably going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming. There are some big games that there's freaking Bayonetta 2. That none of these are necessarily system sellers, but goddamn, they're exclusives, and we didn't learn about them today. But yeah, we need. Well, so I speaking as a Wii U owner. I mean, we need more games, and as you've said, it's a chicken egg situation. Hopefully now with Sega on board, I mean, they can start restoring a little bit of faith in their third party partners. But this is a huge blow. I mean, EA, they have free reign of the Star Wars license now. Those are going to be huge sellers, and they're almost certainly not going to be on the Wii U. We've already seen EA pass over Crysis 3 and Dead Space 3 on the Wii U, and EA, like it or not, they're a kind of a big deal in this whole games market, and the sort of the lack of their support is really worrying for Nintendo, at least sort of in the short term. And being that the next gen consoles are probably coming out this Christmas, I mean, the short term is kind of all they got at the moment.
Agreed, and there's sort of those kind of whale games, the games that you kind of sit on for months. Things like Battlefield and FIFA just won't be there.
No,
and that's not great.
It is absolutely not great at all. We kind of these days rag on Nintendo on a weekly basis, and I can feel that we're pretty much going in that direction again. But yeah, like Nintendo are clearly holding out for E3, and they're holding out to deliver a lot of big guns and big reveals and big gameplay and lots of hands-on, but I kind of feel like it's a bit late.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got this space. Like, Microsoft's presser is still a few days away. They've got time before the internet blows up about someone else, about the other companies.
Yeah, because
they have this quiet period that they should have. Well, we've been saying this for the last few months, but they really should have been
every damn week.
And the thing is, they've already said there's new Mario. They've already said there's new Mario Kart. We know there's stuff in the pipeline, but we just need something.
Super
Even like
Smash
a mention,
Brothers.
a screenshot here and there. That would be great.
And this is only 4 days before the Microsoft Next Gen reveal. It'd be super great if we were all talking about how amazing the new Super Smash Brothers looks, or how excited we are about the new Mario Kart. And that's what people will be chatting about at the deep within the sort of Microsoft Redmond bunker. Yeah, that's not happening now. What's going to happen is that we're going to forget about most of this stuff, because all they did was basically reveal some release dates and tell us what the names of Pikmin 3's protagonists are.
No Olimar, sacrilege!
Because we needed, well, yeah, I mean, the whole point was that Olimar wasn't in the game, and that I assumed, I was told that the reason for that is because they were searching for Olimar, but now apparently you're searching for fruit to make smoothies with, to send into space. Which is fine, because it's a Pikmin game, and asking a Pikmin game to make sense is kind of a futile gesture, but, basically he's hoping that Pikmin 3 isn't a futile gesture, and that and just some more freaking games and some big reveals and a willingness to actually tell us about them might help sort of turn the Wii U's fortunes around before, that whole PS4 thing comes out. Oh, and whatever the heck Microsoft are gonna reveal in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to rag on Nintendo anymore. We want some good news. Some good news. And good news.
Yeah.
For good news, we're turning back to EA.
Wow. How?
Because guess what, gamers? Voting with your wallets has worked. It's taken 3 years, but for a massive company the size of EA, yeah, that's still bollocks. But it has worked. The online pass is dead, along with microtransactions.
Yeah, pretty much. EA said, look, we got rid of we got rid of online passes, and we've listened to your feedback, and we know that you hate having to plug in that stupid code. Isn't it awful having to do that? That thing that we've been making you do constantly, even for single player games like Kingdoms of Amalur. But we're not doing that anymore. It's fine, and we're now going to make you pay for lots of little bits of premium currency in full price games, probably.
Yay.
So I just wonder how many Fuse credits you're going to be able to buy when that comes out.
Yeah. we sort of flagged that up.
Yeah, we noticed that in the demo. There are things called Fuse credits, and it'd be kind of easy to buy boosters for that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But regardless of the reasons behind this move, it's at least good to see them doing it, because now that EA, who are so instrumental in popularizing the online pass, now that they're not doing it, hopefully we're going to see other publishers realizing that there are other ways to sort of entice your consumer base into remaining loyal and buying your games new, rather than sort of beating them around the head until they do it.
The thing is, though, EA were the ones that came up with the original concept for Project $10, which is like we bundle in some extra shit that's worth about $10 if you download it for all new games. The release at the normal price, not with a £10 markup. Mass Effect fucking 3, but the normal price.
Are you still sore about From Ashes, mate?
I'm very angry about that still. No, don't do that. But the thing is, back in the day, Dragon Age Origins, you got Shale in the box. Really interesting character. Really
and totally non-essential.
Totally non-essential.
But she was epic. She's a she. Spoiler alert.
But it required some thought, because how do you got to think about how do you make that sort of additional content attractive without being essential. But they did it at the start really, really well. Same with Mass Effect 2 with Zaid. They really incentivized people to buy new. And it's as if someone just went, oh guys, we're not being evil enough.
Yeah, it's like it's exactly like that. It's like, hang on, we could be like much bigger twats about this. Why not, instead of coming up with this extra non-essential content, why don't we just get the completed game and fucking dissect it, vivisect it, should I say, and then sell back bits to people who buy it pre-owned?
Yeah.
Bits like the online multiplayer in multiplayer-centric games.
Yep.
because apparently don't get me wrong, yeah, they employ lots and lots of people to sort out their servers for things like Battlefield 3, but I don't think they employ people to manually plug in and type in the details for every new account that comes in. I don't think they pay someone by the hour to do that.
No.
I've never been able to see the logic there. The online pass is dead. At least on Nintendo's front, it's still very much alive. With even people, the one that really actually pisses me off is Sony's PSN pass, because it's all well and good to say, oh look, our online service is totally free. Well, it's not, is it? It's being paid for by people who buy pre-owned. So, as soon as other publishers start to come around to this way of thinking, the better.
I think Sony have shown at least a sort of willingness to experiment and think slightly more outside of the box than their fellows. I mean, sending Uncharted 3's multiplayer free to play and exploring sort of variable pricing models like that. I mean, that bodes well in a sense.
Yes, it does, and hopefully that's what they're going to explore, because they know they can do that now. They know they can be a success with that. And they did that with Killzone 3 even way before they did that with Uncharted. And hopefully, hopefully they can explore some of these new pricing models. And we already know there's going to be a huge free-to-play push, a huge low-price indie and boutique push, big push for episodic gaming on the PS4 as well. So, yeah, hopefully the age of, online passes are hopefully going to become a relic of this generation. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Along with season pass pre-orders, hopefully.
It made me laugh when they said, you're getting this full suite of because that's what a season pass is now.
Yeah.
Don't try and tell us that the online pass is good for us. That's bullshit.
No, I mean, you could have almost respected them if they said, look, we're not making as much money as we hoped, and the console market's going tits up. We need your money, guys. We need it. We need this money. We want this money. So, if they'd been straight with us, I mean, I could have at least seen the sort of depraved logic behind that. But come on, enough of the online passes now. So yeah, Ubisoft, stop it. Sony, stop it. Everybody, just seriously stop it. And can everyone just try and be a little bit more like CD Projekt Red going forward? That'd be great.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yes. In slightly minor news, the Red kit is out. It did release prematurely, and CG Projekt said, "That's fine. Keep playing it, you guys. That's awesome. Make some wicked stuff with it." And as you'd expect, I mean, this is a huge amount of work. They've put months into making this enormous, comprehensive suite that lets players completely design their own adventures, their own entire games, even. And it's an enormous download, and they're naturally slapping an enormous price point on it. Like, I've never seen so many zeros in a single price point before. Oh wait, they're all zeros.
They're just so awesome. They made a fantastic game, and they've always been a fairly hardcore, attracted a fairly hardcore PC audience, and they just give back. They give back. They have a community that loves them, and they give back just so much, and say, look, well, here's the tools. Here's what we use to build our game. Build your own. And they're running competitions for it to incentivize people to get involved and make stuff, and it's just great.
Yeah, they're just brilliant. I mean, this is one of those times when professional detachment can go right out the window. CD Projekt Red, when you boil it right down, they make money by earning trust and loyalty. Earning it.
Good God, what a novel idea.
What? Treating your customers like customers. Like people who are valued, whose business is, an integral part of whose money is an integral part of their day-to-day business, and who deserve to be treated with respect and receive it in return. Amazing. Who'd have thunk it? Exactly. Who'd have thunk it? So, seriously, EA, look at that just a little bit. The online pass is a good start. Getting rid of it is a good start. So, start learning from that and start looking at how you can make money without pressing the dick switch or whatever it was that we were talking
The
about.
dick switch. I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
EA, another thing they did this week was open up a new studio for DICE in LA and just shoved a load of the Danger Close folks in it and said, make a better game than Warfighter for Star Wars, or you're done. Oh, actually, no, they probably didn't say that. Though they probably should have done, because, dear God, if they end up wasting the Star Wars license on a game as insipidly shit as Medal of Honor Warfighter, that would be very sad indeed. But yes, DICE have created a new studio, being staffed by EALA Danger Close staffers at the moment, and they pretty much wanted to do it so they could pinch people off Infinity Ward.
Yeah, basically. So we've hopefully got a bunch of very skilled, or at least very experienced developers working on a bunch of hopefully spiritual sequels to Star Wars Battlefront, presumably.
Hopefully, although they did put out a few adverts, sort of with job description. Well, with sort of job attributes based around sort of social casual stuff. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, they'll probably
Sarah.
but that's super hot right now. I mean, how else are you going to peddle your microtransactions? I mean, we got to have some like social tie-in stuff. But I don't mind that. I mean, social, if it's like companion apps and things like that, or companion games that let us sort of move resources back into the main game, I think that's a great idea. I'd like to see EA doing more of that. And I think Star Wars is I mean, goddamn, whatever you think about Angry Birds, Angry Birds Star Wars is really fun. So, I'd like to see some more stuff like that.
So yeah, when it comes to companion apps, like, well, there's one thing that NBA 2K13 did really well. It's got a little companion app, because it's got sort of like an RPG light kind of my player mode where you can earn sort of virtual currency. But you can earn it on the app as well by doing like little trivia quizzes and sort of like shooting hoops. So yeah, whenever I go for a poo, I just earn myself money for that game.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And then EA have already got a lot of experience here because Dead Space iOS is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Dead Space iOS is unbelievable, and it factors into the main game. You can bring your resources across. It's really good. And the Mass Effect Infiltrator game was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Although the actual companion app was pretty tatty. So, some social and casual games, fine. There's Star Wars, has been kind of milked. Not kind of milked, has been totally milked until there's sort of little dusty Tatooine bits of sand coming out of it. But there's still plenty of room. There's still plenty of room for good games there. There's in any number of different genres and from any number of sort of EA studios and from other developers as well, if EA keeps their partners program going. So, this is good, and hopefully we're going to see some kick-ass Star Wars shooters soon. I mean, God knows, hopefully a bit of First Assault action. That'd be great.
Yeah, because I mean, I was quite up for that, and that's the thing, leveraging those different kind of marketplaces, those different sort of virtual platforms. That's going to be really important. I think actually using that because it doesn't cost as much to make a game, because we're seeing the middle ground sort of. A resurgent middle ground in that sort of 12 to 1600 Microsoft point sort of price range. Yeah, around about sort of that 15 quid price range. Yeah. That's a good place to start. You can afford to be a little bit riskier and take a chance on a really creative idea. And I think, I hope that they do that with the Star Wars license.
Yeah. So let's I can't wait to see what they come up with. And well, it's going to be a shooter. Let's face it. And that's fine because I like shooters, funnily enough, and I like Star Wars. So let's have something good out of that.
Indeed. New stuff this week got announced. Putty Squad.
Yes.
Putty Squad. Yes. The game that came so close to release with the Amiga, and then just didn't. And it got like 91s and 94s, and it reviewed incredibly well, and then just never came out.
No, and I was a big Amiga fan. Like the Amiga was my first love. It got me into gaming, and I loved the putty games on that. And I didn't make the connection. When the press releases started coming out, I was like, Putty Squad sounds rubbish. Sounds familiar, but no. no, I don't know why. I'm just getting some weird deja vu, but I just like ignored it out of hand. But god damn, this is actually happening. This is something that I was kind of gutted about back in the day. And you know, the putty games were great. They were colourful. They were deep. They were involving. I can't wait for this.
It's good. It's really good. I mean, I've played oh, wait, I got to play about 20, 25 minutes of it the other day. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's really good.
awesome. I mean, it's already been reviewed. The reviews are out.
And
So,
I thing is, like, I kind of miss. Well, yeah. I mean, they're 20 years old, but
yeah,
they're still
already there.
they're legit.
Yeah.
But the
And that was back in the days when, you know, people weren't handing out 7s and 8s like confetti. These were back in the days when bad games were crushed and mediocre games were crushed.
well, that's because there were quite a few bad games back.
Games are actually better now than they ever have been. There is that. But yeah, they were the old magazines back in the day were very, very stringent, very tough when it came to rating games. And to get like 91s and 90s, big scores. I mean, if it kicked ass, that much ass back then, I cannot wait.
Yeah. It's looking really good, and the thing is, it's coming to pretty much every single platform. But I was testing it out on the Vita, and it's kind of obvious. It's so perfect on the Vita, which is like just a little bit of touchscreen interaction sometimes to sort of like switch around abilities and weapons. But like it's tight, and it looks so good on that screen.
Yeah, that OLED screen is just going to let those
delicious.
luscious graphics pop out. It's going to be fantastic on that platform. I can't wait for it.
It's super sweet. Also, something that got announced: Gran Turismo 6.
Yay!
There's apparently Polyphony have said that they've got unfinished business with the PS3 and that it'll be launching the holiday season.
Hooray!
Probably.
Yes.
Maybe.
So we can assume that there will probably be some cars, and
1,200 cars.
Yes, one or two cars.
Some of which will almost certain just be sort of reskinned ones from earlier games.
Yeah, possibly, but hopefully they'll have actually put a lot of work into the interiors this time around. And you know what? The Gran Turismo games are excellent. I mean, if you're looking for a driving simulator, I don't personally look for driving simulators. I much prefer sort of driving racing entertainment games rather than something that's sort of got more, you know, that's perhaps got arcade and drift mechanics, something that's continually fun and entertaining. But the Gran Turismo games have always been excellent, and we've got no reason to suspect that this one will be any different.
No. I'd make a joke about it being late, but everyone's kind of already done
I just wonder how long we're going to have to play this one to unlock the real damage modeling.
Oh God, please no.
Oh, but it was so totally funny. All of us, all the reviewers were like, caught out, and people were saying, you didn't play it for 30 hours. Why are you reviewing it? And we were like, well, why should we have to play a racing game for 30 hours? To be able to, it's a racing game. There is such a thing as reviewing something for an appropriate length of time, at least when it comes to something as open-ended as a driving game. But anyway, look, Gran Turismo, there's going to be another one. That's awesome. It's going to be on PS3 as well, which is odd, but also kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So, it may come to PS4, but it's likely that they're going to be looking at Drive Club to be the sort of PS4's big launch racer, I would assume. Because otherwise, Gran Turismo 6 would just destroy Drive Club. I mean, no matter how good it looks, I mean, that's got serious brand power. So people on PS3 are going to have GT6. On the PS4, we're going to have Drive Club, which is from the MotorStorm guys. So, yeah, lots of good racing games coming out. Well, 2 good racing games coming out on Sony platforms.
Yeah, and Sony have done this before. I mean, they did it with the PS2 when they brought out a sort of big franchise game just at the overlap point, which was Final Fantasy 12, to sort of help prolong the PS2. And the PS2 didn't really need help because it just kept selling and selling and selling. But it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see this. I mean, and there's still going to be overlap. I mean, they're counting on that. And I think, Gran Turismo coming right at the end of the console cycle, it's kind of perfect for it.
Absolutely.
So yes, that's good. Finally though, one game that we don't want back. A little scare at the start of this week, when someone started playing with Shaq Fu and filing multiple trademarks for something called Shaq Fighter.
I
No.
don't think we can. I don't think we can stop it. I think.
I think we have to.
I think all we can do. I
We
don't
owe
think
it
there's
to the
anything.
world.
I don't think there's anything that we can realistically do about this. I think we just need to just sit down and pray.
So everybody join hands.
pray.
Everybody join hands.
Yeah.
Shut your eyes. Squeeze real tight. Don't put yourself. And just pray.
And maybe it will go away. Or maybe it'll rock. Like either of the two would be fine. But I suspect that neither will happen.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has been the Game Buzz for this week. We'll catch you next week. Same time. Bye guys.
Bye. Oh man, we didn't talk about Mass Effect.
Oh, tits.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I was only going to use it to make a sort of Medal of Hanar joke. Anyway.
I'd play that.
Yeah, that's the spin-off I want.
Wait, actually, hang on. Like, there's no reason that can't happen.
No, I mean, what exactly is, I mean, like Dice LA or whatever they're called. I mean, they might have some downtime. They've got all the Danger Close guys. I mean, they could quite easily make Medal of Hanar. It'd probably be like, if the whole game is literally just floating around and reading religious texts, it'll probably be more interesting than Warfire.
That's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, like it's a no-brainer.
Oh, that game.
Yeah.
I like it. Medal of Hanar.
Medal of Hanar, right? Come on, that's pretty good.